Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Random Spirit. I am your host, Cynthia. Today's episode is going to be a part two on the father wound. This is another collab episode. I have one of my best friends on here. Her name is Tanisha. We share our struggles with the father wound. Tanisha, I thank you so much for being on my podcast and also for being vulnerable. Here is part two of the father wound. Welcome, Tanisha.
Hi, hi, hi. Welcome.
This,
Hey, girl.
yes, this is my girl Tanisha. She's my friend, one of my best friends, and I'm so happy and blessed to have you on my podcast.
Yes, girl. Yes, it's been that time.
Yes, we're gonna do the father wound. This is part two. I have out part one with Felonia, Ray of Sun. So we're just gonna dive into it. Okay, Tanisha.
Yes.
Okay, so what is like the definition of the father wound to you?
You know what? Honestly, with the father wound, the first thing I think of is, reflection of your childhood, like the childhood you had with, like a childhood that I had with my father, like within a relationship. When I think about father wound, like,
Hmm.
that's what I really think about, when I hear father wound.
Yeah. What like do you feel like you have a father wound?
I would say yes. I definitely would say yes. Good and bad, a love and hate. I would definitely say
It's just so crazy
yes.
how like alike we are.
Yes, I'm
Because
telling you.
I have the same thing. I have the same thing. So, what is your relationship like with your father, like at the moment right now?
I mean, like I see him, we talk like I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know for like if your dad the same way, but it's like when you see them, like they'll acknowledge you, hey, how are you? And
Mm-hmm.
that's it. Like really, it's like a hi, how are you? Or like if he need me to do something or he have a question and that's it. It was not really that, built in
Mm-hmm.
relationship on where he get to know me more, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an island thing because I feel like some of these, not all of them, but I feel like some of the fathers are like that. They just keep it moving, like whatever. Okay, as long as she's not in the hospital or she's not hurt
Oh
or
shit.
whatever, that's fine. Like like as long as because he always told me he looked at me in a way. I think he told me one time. He said, one thing about you, Tanisha. I wouldn't have to worry about you because for some reason you just always been independent. You always just been independent and I don't know why. I don't know, maybe that's the reason why he just, just say hi, that's it. And he asked me if I'm okay
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, but you can't even talk to, your father like that, because
Yes.
anyways, they would not understand. It's like, oh, okay, or whatever, or just like whatever, keep it moving. I don't know. I don't know if it's just the island thing, but that's just the father in them. And I just learned after many years when I figured him out, I just knew how to just accept it. So
Wow.
that's
So
just how it is.
where is your father from?
He's from Haiti. He's from Haiti. He's been here in America now, been a citizen for the longest now. So, he's been here in Florida for many years now. I think he moved here when he was my age, actually our age. I would say, like he said, 26, 27 around this time
How
is where he
how old is
came.
he? How old is he?
Now he is what, 66, 66 or 67. I think he's 66. Yeah, he's 66.
Girl, your dad and my dad are not the same age, but about the same. My dad
Yeah,
was,
and I'm pretty sure they're
mm-hmm.
alike too.
Yep, my dad was born in Mexico, and I don't remember what age he came earlier than your dad, but it's like I like to call them the baby boomers.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know how they are. That's wow, Tanisha. That is like so you never had any love and affection from your father?
Honestly, I can say not really.
Ouch.
No, he never really showed that, honestly. I think the only thing he'll do sometime here and there if we needed lunch money or something, that's it. And then for Christmas, one thing I say I am grateful for, yeah, so he'll just give me like Christmas gifts and me and my brothers and sisters Christmas gift because he used to work through this church where it was,
Yes.
where he was a maintenance and somewhat of electrician. So he'll put our names down. And he'll bring us that, which I was thankful and grateful. There's things he'll come home with and say, here, you guys, there's something on the table to eat, or here, there's, gifts or whatever. But, I was thankful and grateful for that because, he didn't have to, but like a, actual communication, connection with love, like, showing that love, it was not really there. It was just like, here and then he just keep it moving. I don't know. I guess that's a father thing.
Girl, I feel like you have a deep father wound.
So that was pretty much it with us. So,
I feel like you have a deep father wound because you say he didn't have to, but he's your dad. He had to, Tanisha.
what the gifts you're talking about? Yeah, I
Yes,
mean,
girl.
yeah, yeah, girl, but
Girl.
he did, girl. So I can say that, and I think that's the reason sometimes he don't
Hmm.
say certain things
Yeah.
because he know he
Yeah.
can't use it. Because there's so
Uh,
many things, how when they have their, dirt or stuff like things they did, like especially what he put my mom through. So, it's just it comes to all, all of that. So
oof.
yeah, that's how it is, girl.
Jeez. Okay, so we're gonna get deep, Tanisha. Buckle up,
Mm-hmm.
girl. Okay?
Yes, girl. We are, girl.
We're gonna talk about abuse. And this is
Mhm.
physical, mental,
Mhm.
emotional, spiritual, verbal. Like, so there's this little, thing that I got from the internet, and it says if you watched your father abuse your mother or experienced abuse from him yourself, then you may think that's how a relationship is supposed to be. If he was very controlling or dominating, you may have repressed your truth and struggled to set boundaries. Can you
Yeah.
relate to any of that? Like,
You know what? I can say that he wasn't like abusive, I would say like physically, but just the words, because words can be very
yes. Hmm.
abusive, like it can be, honestly. And with him it would always be his words, like to my mom, like even to me. I think I remember at one point I had a conversation with you, I think one time, when I tell you all he just do, he'll talk about my weight, and that's kind of abuse. You talking to me crazy and like in a verbal way about my weight and saying I'm gonna always be fat and all this stuff. And do you not know when they do things like that, that triggers you, that triggers you. I don't know, for some reason when my dad always say that to me, now he stopped. I don't know, maybe he's seen the look on my face and everything. When I tell you it triggers me, it triggers me. And then even like with my mom, like the way he'll talk to my mom one time and say, hey, what he said, I'm hungry, you need to make food for me. And she just getting off of
Mm.
work and he just going off and then slamming the door and cursing, and he walked out the house. And he left because all because my mom just got off of work and she sat down and talked to me and my sister, just being a mom, just hanging out, like being herself, just because she tired. She came and sat down in the living room. She just had a conversation with us, just like a regular, normal person or friendship conversation. That's it. And you get upset because she does that. And now you tend to, walk out the door and slam the door and get upset. And you're at home. You're retired. If
How
you
how did
if
that
you
make you feel,
Girl, that made
Tanisha?
me so upset. And I told my mom, I said, listen, you don't have to get up. I said, he's been home all day. You need to sit down. You need to get some rest. If he wanted to, he's retired. He could have made you something. He could have made you and him something. And right then and there, so many times when I seen the way my dad will treat my mom, it would have, it should have been that person where I'm like, yeah. So some people wake up and have a hate for their dad. You know what I mean? But it's different. I don't know why I don't wake up and have a hate for my dad because to be honest with you, the way he talked to my mom, the way he used to talk to me, some people will wake up with that hate, but I didn't. So that's one thing I can say.
Do you feel like it's because you don't allow yourself to hate your father?
I think so, but I just don't know. You know what? I don't know. I think I learned to accept him because I just noticed, to be honest with you, Cynthia, all these men's are like that. Like these island men's coming here. Like I see how my uncle are, like people that he surround himself, his family, all these men's, they're all the same. So I'm just like, you know what? Maybe it's just something that maybe this is their personality. Maybe it was something, maybe by them doing this is making them feel like they're in control, making them feel better. I don't know.
Mm,
But I was just like, I just started to accept like that was just him. Maybe he have his own problems and he take it out on people, which I think that's what it is too. And I'm just like, whatever. But yeah.
mm-mm. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I can
Yeah.
sit here and say it was the same. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad was,
Uh-huh.
he was verbally, and he was like verbally abusive and very like manipulating, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
my mom, was a stay-at-home mom, and she took care. She had a little, daycare going on, and
Yeah.
she would take care of us and all that. And like Tanisha, when I tell you, my dad would
Uh-huh.
come home from work, and like it's like I can't stand this. It's like he's the king, and we all
Uh-huh.
have to like bow down to his feet. That's how I felt when you know growing up. That's how my dad like made me feel. Like my dad, I don't think I've ever heard him, sorry, you're gonna hear bad. I don't think I've ever heard him really like ask my mom how her day went. If they went on and did that, that was probably behind closed doors or something. But like I always remember my mom always like having something ready for him, and it was like all about him. It was all about him. And you know, now, growing up, now that I'm older, it's like, I don't know. I just feel like my dad expected a lot from my mom, and, all he did was bring home, the sorry, Sebastian's like bothering me. He'd
That's,
bring home, he would bring, the checks home, right? He was
yeah.
like the hard worker, but like it's like,
Yeah.
when I had moved in with Trey and stuff, I went on and he taught me a lot, but I went on and I told him, I do my part, you do yours. I don't care what kind of
Yeah.
work you do. You're
Yeah.
gonna come home. I'm not expecting you to do what I'm doing,
Yeah.
but you need to, if I'm cooking and Sebastian poops his diaper, go on and help. Do something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, it's something about that dominating and that controlling that triggers me, because
Yep.
Tanisha,
Yep. Sounds
that
about right. Oh my goodness, that's the Virgo and that's the Earth sign. Yep, it is.
that's
Honestly, that is everything you
yes.
said is 100% correct. And that's the same thing that was going on there. And that's when I told myself to this day that I would never, ever accept a man to sit there and treat me the way that I see my dad treat my mom and the way I see how my dad, just talk to my mom. And that's why I remind, homie here, I tell him all the time, I said, listen, listen, if you think you're going to be doing what my dad did my mom, it's not going to happen. Like whatever, back in the what 30s or 40s, 1918, whatever 30s. So yeah, so my mom would teach me like the things my mom do to my dad. Sometimes she'll expect me to do the same way when it comes to my baby father. No, ma'am, that's not happening because at the end of the day, I'm still young and I'm going to live my life. I'm not going to sit at home trapped, not going anywhere and not living life and not seeing what's outside, the doors. So that's not going to happen because certain things I'll do. She'll be like, how can you do that? And you still at home with your baby father. Like, I understand you guys have y'all issues, but you have to still, kind of, not do that. And I'm like, no, ma, I'm young, okay? I can't sit here and, I want to say so bad like you, but I don't. I don't want to hurt
Mhm.
her feelings. So I say, I have to live for me. Like I have to be happy for me. So For me to go out, it's once in a while for me to enjoy myself. I don't do it every day, but come on. And then she'll tell me I need to cook more. No, I'm not cooking more. What do you do for me to cook more? Like, no, this is not the 80s, the 30s or 40th century. You're hungry, you go buy something or whatever. You fix something to make in the kitchen. Like,
You and I are
no.
the same. No, I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
I'm
I
telling
think
you.
I sent you the voice message. I was like, Trey
Yep.
has 2 feet.
Yep.
Trey has and
Eyes and vision. Yes, yeah, because you're not the only person to come and see what's in the kitchen or what we have and don't have. Yeah,
yes, and
girl. Mm-hmm.
it's not that like I'm not gonna sit here and do it for him. I will I will sit here and do things for him, right? It's just it's crazy. It's crazy how my mom sits here and she's like, "Oh, you have to cater to him and you have to do this." Yes, I will go on and I'll cater to him and like whatever stuff like that, but ways that, the father wound shows up. So there's this little thing I got from Pinterest. It says unresolved emotional wounds, pain and trauma of a father unintentionally passed down to his child. And I feel like one of the things that you and I have, Tanisha,
Hmm. Hmm.
is that you and I we have our masculinity out and
I
we
was gonna
live in
say
it.
the same. Yep, I was gonna say the same. I'm sorry. That's exactly the answer that I was gonna give you when you just said that and broke that down. Because honestly, it just teach you to be the person that for today, and stand up for yourself because you'll look back and see like why my mom didn't really stand up for herself. She doesn't deserve this. She deserved more. Like why? And then that's the reason why we are the way we are today because you have to. Because if you're not, then it's gonna be that habit where the person expect for you to, cook for them every day, clean for them every day, do this. Now it becomes a pattern. Now you have to make sure you do it for them. You have to make sure you take care of them every day. You have to make sure you do it all for them every day and cater to them every day. And girl, no.
Mhm.
So yeah, when you just said that, yeah, that's exactly why sometimes, you set that boundary. You have to be in that energy because if not, girl, hmm,
Yeah.
you wear your hair down all the time, it won't be good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so crazy how much we can relate. It's so
Yeah,
crazy. It's so
yeah.
crazy. I feel like one thing I'm learning because I do see like reflect on, my mom and dad's marriage. There's a lot of things I've picked up from that. And, one thing that I'm learning is to like trying to calm the masculine and trying to be like okay with my feminine, but because of the fact that I'm doing the inner work and because of the fact that I'm actively like working on the father wound, it's hard, it's difficult. I literally like get flashbacks, but um Trey's patient. Thank God for this man because he's patient and deals with my crazy ass. But so if your father was not loving or supportive, it will show up as you being uncomfortable with expressing your emotions. That is, something that I struggle with, to this day. I go, back and forth. Um, I have to be really, 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 really comfortable with you. I know I like, you and I, Tanisha, I'm very thankful for you, very grateful for you. We talk, I can sit here and I can, share things with you. There's not a lot of people that I feel comfortable enough to express my emotions because I feel like I don't know. I feel like there's people that are very critical and I just don't want judgment. And I feel like in the space that, I've created with you, this friendship, you don't judge. You don't judge at all. Can you relate to being uncomfortable with expressing your emotions?
Yes, yes, yes. Most definitely, yes. And then sometimes, you have no choice where when you get frustrated, I don't know if that's been you once before, where you get frustrated and you say what you have to say because all that anger and all that frustration, is built out. I mean, built like, like strongly built inside of you, like where it's all built up and you just let it out and have an outburst. And then there was times where, I just cried it out. Honestly, I just cried it out when my dad didn't believe in me. He said
Mm.
that I was not going to pass my reading test or my math test. I wasn't going to make it out of high school. Like he just down talked me like I was in softball. He didn't come to none of my, games. But of course, sometimes when he can, he'll bring me food or drop it off or whatever he do. But other than that, it's just a lot. Yeah, it's just a lot. Sometimes you just can't. You really can't until when you get frustrated. That's when you really do, let them know a little bit about themselves, and then you just keep it moving. But yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's one thing I am grateful. Like my dad supported me because I used to dance. He used to go to almost all of them,
Yeah.
but there was a lot of times like I feel like my dad, if I did what made him proud and what he liked, he'd go on
Uh-huh.
and like root for me. But if like I I just feel like if it's anything like, how I sit here and I do readings and stuff, I feel like my dad just like doesn't agree with it. He's very disrespectful. Um very disrespectful about it. And I feel like that's what hurts because like I said, if it's if it's within what he likes, oh yeah, he'll go on and but like when I started into my spirituality because my dad's Catholic, he's very judgmental and he'll just be like, it's all about Jesus, Christ and nothing else and um yeah, that hurts that he's not as supportive as I want him to be. The reason why now it's like when I sit here and I'm doing certain things, I'm very like cautious. I'm very cautious um because when he sits here and he says something like fucked up or whatever about what I do, or like if anyone says anything bad about like what I do, I just kind of just sort of like cut him off. I'm not really going to express how that made me feel or whatever. Um, so the next one is if your father was, and it says attempted to mold you or shape you. Yeah, that's kind of like what I just went over. It will show up as overly defensive about mistakes. Hmm. Overly defensive about mistakes. I guess just like being defensive. Can you relate to that?
So yeah, with the defensive part, I would say,
So like attempted to mold you and shape you, and you become overly defensive about mistakes. I
I
feel like
was.
I can sort of relate to that.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I'll go on and give an example for me.
Mhm.
I feel like my dad pushed a lot on me on like identity wise, like with the whole like I grew up in a Mexican household. He was very prideful about being Mexican, and if I ever had a thought of like my African American culture, whatever,
Mhm.
I felt like I was like betraying my father. Like it was a really weird, I guess, you can say, and there's a lot of like, guilt that I felt
Mhm.
when I reconnected with, my biological family. And
Mhm.
I feel like in that sense, it fits for me.
Mhm.
I don't know how it would relate to you, girl.
See, I haven't really had that moment. I'm
Yeah,
here
yeah.
thinking about it. With that, no, I haven't. I would just say the only thing he would just go by with his rules in the house. It was that don't come home, you don't get pregnant, you get pregnant, you get kicked
Oh
out,
my
or if you get kicked out, I'm packing, or if I don't kick you out, I'm packing up my suitcase and I'm going to Haiti.
girl, your dad probably went through some trauma. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so another one, it says man box mentality, man up. Desire to be, it comes as and it shows as a desire to be seen as strong and never weak. I feel like this definitely, you and I can definitely relate because we like, I know I'm a woman, but I live in my masculinity and I like to, sit here and, say like, I'm gonna buck up. Like, I don't know, it's just like this weird thing. Like, again, even though I'm a woman, it's like I'm gonna man up, right? Like put the feelings to the side sometimes and just that's crazy, Tanisha. I sit here and I tell myself like, be a man about it, even though I'm not a man. Hmm, that's crazy, girl. But yeah, a desire to be, strong and never weak. And I remember for the longest, I seen, crying as a weakness. So I would sit here and every time like I would cry, and stuff, I like my trigger response was flight. So I would like, run to a room or whatever and then just like, cry a little bit, collect myself, wipe my tears, get back up. I feel like that causes repression and suppression. That shit's not good because then you sit here and like you have a mental breakdown and that ain't good, girl. Mm-mm.
Honestly, I can say something like that because I remember like when he talked down on me, like what you said when you run into your room, that's how I was. I was in my room laying in bed, I was crying it out. When I tell you, I went days with just crying for the things that he will say to me, how he just don't believe in me. Like you know how you're supposed to be a parent and believe in your child. How you know you're
Yes.
supposed to be a parent and be there for your child and be supportive. Sometimes it was always the opposite. Like he would just say some crazy things, and I'd be asking, and I asked myself, like, how can a man, how can a father think the way they think? How can they think like this? So I just, whatever. And like I tell you, the same thing you said when he go to talking and just not believing me and saying what he's saying. I just get to the mode where I'm just quiet. Like I don't even bother. I don't even whatever, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. And I don't let him see me cry, like you said. I went in my
Mhm.
room and I just cried it out. But and that's why to this day I said that's why I keep the masculine energy, because I want to be here to protect my son. I don't want my son to see any of this or go through any of this.
Yes.
So that's why
Mhm.
sometimes I am the way that I am today, because there's certain things you cannot put up with, because if you put up with it now, it will actually affect the child. It will affect the child. And that's why I told myself that I'm going to make sure, I do the best I can, because
Mhm.
it's crazy. It's crazy. Even when it comes to a father, like, I wouldn't want, his father talking to him that way, because I would stand up. That's not
Yup.
right. That's not right. No, it's just certain things you cannot accept. You won't accept it today. You won't accept it tomorrow. And you definitely not accepting it now. So, yeah.
That is something that you like, honestly, I'm telling you, Tanisha, it's the ego. And the thing is that when we were children and whatever happened, and if your dad talked to you in any way, our ego comes
Mm-hmm.
out, and our
Yeah.
ego, our ego is like, you know, we're not
Yeah.
gonna let this happen. So if our partner, whatever, is talking to us sideways, talking to our children sideways, I
Yeah.
come out and I'm like, sir, watch the way you're talking to,
Mm-hmm.
the kids, watch your tone of voice because I'm
Yeah.
not the one. And then
Yeah.
my 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 ego, starts coming out. It's like mama
Yeah.
bear,
As you
I'm gonna
should. Yeah.
I'm gonna
As
buck
you
up.
should. Yeah. As you should. That sounds about right. Like me, I do the same thing as well.
Yeah, it's because, and it's crazy. I'm telling you, girl, you and I can relate so much because
Yeah.
I am going through the rebirth of the ego, and there's
Mm-hmm.
so many times where I'm petrified, and I'm like, you know, I'm so scared to let my masculine go because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, who's gonna be there to protect us?
Yeah. And especially the world that we living in today. That's the thing about it.
Who's going to be here to protect us? But I sit here and I just tell myself, Trey is a man, he can protect me. But it's just like reflecting back on my childhood, I don't know, it's just like, even like, I sit here and I make scenarios in my head. What if something happens to Trey? What if Trey's not here? I have to sit here and I have to man up, like,
Yeah. Yes.
girl,
That is so true.
girl.
And
Okay,
people don't
so
understand that.
yeah, yeah. So let me like hold on. Okay. So not approving. And then this is as it will show up, you're yearning for your father's approval throughout life unconsciously. Can I relate to that? I don't know if I can. Yearning for my father's approval. Can you relate to that, Tanisha?
I'm trying to think about it. I don't think so.
Yeah, this is all like live. I didn't go over with this Tanisha before, so this is actually like the raw, like,
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, because I'm trying to think. I don't think I. Yeah, I don't think. Mm-mm.
yearning for your father's approval. I feel like in my case, I guess you can say unconsciously there's like I try like what I used to do, I don't do it anymore. Try
Uh-huh.
to like project and force relationships on people. I feel like going on, I want a connection, so I sit here before and I used to project on other people, and then I'd sit here and be like, I'm gonna go above and beyond for you, do it for me. And when they wouldn't, I would sit here and I'd just be like, what the fuck? And I'd, create a hurt, within myself. I feel like that. Um,
You know what? That's true. That was a good one. That's actually a good one. That's true, and I think that's how I. Yeah, that was the same with me. The same.
yeah,
Yeah, I would say. Yeah. Because
yeah.
I remember, it's so funny when you said that because I remember like reflecting off of, from my dad. I
Mhm.
what did I remember what it was? Oh, actually, yeah, let me go ahead and say this one here. So from what happened, like, like I tell you with my dad or whatever and stuff, I don't know if you're the same way, like when you were in school, I was like, well, I'm not taking care of no man. I'm making sure a man take care of me.
Yes,
I think I
yes.
told you that. And that's why I feel like it's my
Mhm.
karma right now. Because remember, I told you in high school, like middle school, elementary, like I had like this boy. He liked me. He had a crush on me, and he brought me stuff to school. And then I'll tell my brother, his friend, he bothering me. He following me home, and they jumped him one time. And now just looking back at it, I'm like, damn, that's so messed up. But around that time, I was just like, kind of scared. I'm like, he didn't want to leave me alone, but now I felt bad. Like he didn't have no friends. That's why he was following me home and trying to chase me down and give me a gift because he liked it me. And but I was
Yeah.
just too scared to see that. And like I think he kept he kept the gift. And then when I became in like middle school, high school, I always wanted from a man to take care of me. Like I had them get me things. Some people I was not interested in. I didn't like them. They didn't even look cute to me. And I just
Mhm.
say yes. Valentine's Day, yeah, you could buy me the biggest chocolate, the biggest teddy bear, and all this stuff. And just because of reflecting on how what my dad didn't do for my mom, I said, well, I'm gonna want a man to do that for me. Like, somebody gonna take care of
Right?
me. Someone is gonna take care of me. So that's what I did. I went around school doing that too. Even high school, I did that where people was just getting me gifts, buying lunch, bringing lunch, doing this, giving me money, their lunch money, whatever, girl, everything. Buy me this and that. And then it's just to the point where I was like, okay, I can't take it enough. It's enough because it got annoying. Like it kind of felt like they were too attached and it got annoyed. So I just kind of broke it off with a lot of the guys that I were talking to, like in high school, whatever it was. But then I'm like sitting here, I'm like, damn, maybe because the way I was feeling, I was like, maybe because the way I was feeling about my dad treating my mom, and I want these men to take care of me. I'm like, wow. Now I'm to the point where I broke up with them or whatever. And then now, like, the situation that I'm in now, I'm like, well, maybe that was a karmic because I was too busy trying to do, the opposite and wanted someone to
Mhm.
take care of me and all this stuff, girl. It's just that's something that I could say that I always reflect on based on what my dad did to my mom, and I'm like have that mindset to this day, like someone's gonna take care of me. I'm not gonna be taking care of no one because
Mhm.
yeah, because my dad didn't like my dad didn't really take care of my mom. Like here and there, once in a while he'll do or whatever, but not all the time. I said I'm gonna need someone to take care of me all the time. But yeah. That's what I can say. I definitely that's how I see it on the relationship because of what my father. I was like, yeah, I want this man to do this. Like I have this standard. I'm like, I want this man to do this to me.
Mhm.
I want this man to be like this with me and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So that I can definitely say.
Mhm. Girl, you have people getting you stuff in school?
Yes, girl. That's why I told you
Tanisha?
before. I'm like, maybe this is my karma, girl. Because I used to be so mean and I'll break off with them and they were hurt. And I told some people they're not cute. I told them to shave this off their face, do this. They went and got a razor and shaved like the beard or like the mustache off their face. Girl, I don't know what I was thinking. It was
Oh
so
no,
terrible.
Tanisha. I feel like that's a sense of control. I'm telling you, this is something that an issue that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I love control. It's part of that toxic masculinity that we both have because of
Yeah.
how, like, girl, our fathers were so controlling. So how that
Mm-hmm.
manifests, within look, not me channeling,
Yeah, girl. Hmm.
how that manifests with us is the fact that during that time, your father, unconsciously or whatever, taught
Mm-hmm.
you that control. So you sit here and you have these boys on, at the palm of your hand, and you're like, oh, do this,
Yeah.
do that, and they're doing it.
Yeah, honestly, and it's just so
Girl.
crazy. And I'm like, that's why when I'm in the situation that I am now, that's what I'm like really quick to think about. I'm like, I'm like, this maybe was the reason.
Mhm.
I'm like, this maybe was the reason why I'm going through this karma. Maybe it was a lesson because, I did started to, like basically put myself there where I'm not letting no one, treat me the way my dad treated me. I just want to be in control first. I want to make sure to let them know what I want, what I accept, what I, basically already
Mhm.
setting your standards and your boundary right then and there. So, yeah.
That's
That's how it is. And I
crazy.
think to this day it's still kind of like that because I'm like, it's just so crazy too, because I'll bring that conversation up. Even when it comes to this guy here, I would say, listen, honey, if you think you're gonna be like my daddy, well, guess what? You can leave today because it's not happening and I'm just not gonna start today. And I always use him as that example. And it's just so sad. It's really sad how I use my dad as that kind of example. And I always do in every sentence.
Yeah. Yep. That's if your father was only showed love when you did or achieved something that's people pleasing. I feel like, all these go on and they can, combine. Um I want to talk about anger, Tanisha, because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like there's anger
Mm-hmm.
with you.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like you don't want it to come out. I don't know why. I feel like there definitely is some anger like within your father. I know I have anger with my dad. I don't let it manifest because at the end of the day, like that's my dad. Um
Mm-hmm.
I can be a nasty bitch. I like
Yeah.
my angry side, I will cut him off. He will never hear from my kids. But like that's my dad. I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, they're getting old too, so that's the same thing too. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't know if because their family, like their mom or where they were raised was so hard on them, and I just don't know.
Yeah. Do you feel
I
like
just,
your dad had a lot to do with like insecurities with your like, body image, your face? I remember, you going on and sharing that he was calling you like
yeah, girl, all of that. And I was getting so mad when I tell you I get so mad, girls to the point because I didn't want to let anything out right then and there. I said, Tanisha, let's go. I said, Tristan, let's go. And we left because I know it was just not good. And that whole day, that bothered me. That bothered me. When it bothers you so bad, you feel like your body's so warm, like the blood in your body is so warm, and it's just boiling, like you just ready to
Tanisha,
let it
that's
out. That's me.
anger. That's
Yeah.
anger.
So that was
Tanisha.
me. That was me. And I just left. And then I remember it was someone on TikTok on a reading. And I said, why do my dad treat me the way he treat me? Why do he talk to me the way he talked to me? And someone said, just ignore him because, he have insecurities himself. And you know what? He was, it went back all through his childhood, like from what he went through and how he just, with him doing that. And I kind of feel that too already when he was doing that. It just make him feel better and make him feel like he's doing something or whatever, or saying something. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense.
That's crazy. I feel like one of the hardest things on this wound that I have is to acknowledge, the fact that my dad did go through some shit,
Mhm.
and the fact that he did what he could, and is hard because it affects me, like, every single day,
Mhm.
my insecurities, there's just so many issues. This is like a fucking deep ass wound that um
Yeah. And you're like
like
feeling like you're the punching bag or something like that. So, yeah.
yep,
Mhm.
absolutely. I feel like on the episode I did with Felonia, I was saying that I feel like I'm never gonna be good enough. Do you feel the same? Like, I feel like I'll never be good enough for my dad. I will, him and I will never see eye to eye, and I just have to, accept that. So it's hard because my dad, he's pushing 70. I think he's like 68 or whatever.
Mhm. Almost the same with my dad. Yeah.
So I have to sit here and, like, I struggle with myself because it's like, I don't want, life is so short. I don't know
It
when my
is.
dad's time
Yeah.
is gonna come. And
Yeah.
also, I have to sit here and I have to separate the issues that I have with my father, because
Yeah.
that's not like the girls in Bash. He's an
Mhm.
amazing grandfather, and I just have to,
Mhm.
like, calm myself and tell myself, Cynthia, like, the girls and the issues that you had when you were when you were younger, it doesn't, like, involve the kids. I have to remind myself, and I just have to,
Yeah.
like, it it's hard.
Yeah. It is. Huh. It is.
How is your dad with Tristan?
Oh, girl, he loves Tristan. Every day he'll call Tristan.
Girl.
He'll go pick up Tristan. He'll take pictures on WhatsApp and send me a picture of him and Tristan. He said Tristan is his twin because he's born May 3rd and Tristan is born May 4th. He's just happy. He loved Tristan. Since Tristan came in this world, he said Tristan is his son. He go around telling everybody that's his son, Tristan.
That makes me want to cry. Oh my god.
Yeah, girl. So, yeah, girl.
How does
That's
that
that's
make you feel?
That's the good. I'm not gonna lie, it makes me happy. But like I tell you, the only time too, on top of that, I just try not to, whatever it is too. But the only time I notice where he'll worship me and have something good to say, because I remember you were saying that. I think you was about to say it, but then I think you just skipped it anyways or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's just so crazy, like when they're only supporting you. And the only time my daddy supported me is because if I'm helping him somewhere, like when I was staying, when I was living with them around that time. Anything they needed help with, AC, whatever, the AC went bad, or he needed money, or he needed this, or he needed that. Girl, let me tell you something about Tanisha. Tanisha will make it happen. Tanisha have the money, she'll give it. And he used to be so happy to this point, like him and his brothers, like, oh my gosh, I love Tanisha. She's like the best child. Every time you have a problem, or you need help, she need help, or you need help with anything, or you're stuck. Yeah, so that's the only time he'll worship me. Like when he get money and I help him and like I tell you, like the way, that's just how it is.
That's that's crazy. I don't
Mhm.
I mean, my dad will sit here and it's like he's proud of me or whatever when it comes to, like, the children, right?
Mhm.
Oh, you and Trey, make the beautiful children, and my
Mhm.
dad spoils the hell out of, the girls, my mom and dad, and then, he'll sit here and, like, it's just, I love how my dad is, like, as a grandfather, he's fucking amazing. And I'm sitting here and I'm like,
Mhm.
where the fuck was that when I was
Yeah.
a kid?
No, it hits different when it's their grandkids. I don't know why, but that's how it is. And I don't know, it's just weird to me because you expect, like, especially when you have kids, like that's your blood, like that's your soul, like that's your legit you. Like you expect you like hold on to them tight and protect them, like things like that. Because like I tell you today, the love I have for my only one child, Tristan, like, I hold him tight, I squeeze him tight. He'd be like, Mommy, I love you. Like he'll say, Mama, love you, mwah, and I do the same
I
thing
love.
and I hold him so tight. He hold me so tight every time he kiss me. He say, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." It's just like sometimes the love you get from your child. You just want to ask yourself like, how can like you be like the way you are sometimes and do the things you do?
Right?
and not support them and not believe in them. But like I said, I don't know. I don't know what the islands taught these men, but it's I don't know. It's like a no go for me. Mm-mm,
Tanisha,
I
oh
don't
my God.
know. I don't know if they taught them, something different. I don't know what it was. I'm just so curious what it was going down for them out there because I don't know. And it's just not them. It's just most of these men are like that. And I see it with my own two eyes. Like, it's crazy.
Have you ever been to Haiti?
I never went. I need to, but I haven't. But they said it's not good out that around that right now. So
What part of Haiti are your parents from?
my dad is from Old Boy, and I think my mom, I forgot the name where she was from. I think somewhere like that. My dad is from Old Boy and Old Cap, at Cap Haitian, but I
When
forgot where my mom.
when
She's somewhere.
when's the last time he your parents went to Haiti?
Oh, right now, speaking of that, like I tell you, my daddy don't care, honey. He be walking around here like he a single man, honey. He's there right now. He's on vacation. And my
Tanisha!
mom, let me tell you, and my mom is just home, okay? She's home right now as we speak. She's at work. She's at work. And you should say, hey, your birthday is the same month as me. Let's go on vacation. Let's go to Haiti. I'll pay your ticket. Or let's go on a cruise. I'll pay your ticket. Or let's do something for your birthday. Let me get your toes and nails done. Instead of your daughter Tanisha having to do it, let me show you my appreciation. If I'm going to Haiti, let me leave some money here for you. Go take care of yourself. Do something nice for yourself. And not even just leave me here. Let's go on a trip together.
That's
Yeah, because she remember I
crazy.
told you my mom was on a vacation last week for her birthday. Like she took like 1 week vacation. Yeah, girl. These men's, girl, I'm telling you, that's what make me the way I am. And best believe it, you guys hear me now on podcast, but let me tell you something, not to scare anyone, but today, the world we living in is so crazy because these men's are all different. And now this generation now is kind of even worse now, too. So it's just that, sometimes
Yes.
you have to live in that energy, that masculine energy. You have to, even if you don't have that full masculine energy, but you need at least that little bit because if you have to as a woman to protect yourself, protect your child, because it's really important for your child at the end of the day. So I'm
Yep.
telling you, because your child see everything, even when they're young. You think your child don't know or don't see, they know. My 2-year old, he can feel off of energy and he know.
He can. He really can.
Yep.
Girl,
So that's why it's
that's
always very important.
yep. I feel like, it's the crazy thing I can say, a message for you and I is
Mm-hmm.
that the generational curses and those cycles are real. And I just want to say I am so proud of you, Tanisha, because it ends with you.
Yeah, it
It ends with
is.
you. You're breaking generational curses, and it's so hard. Nowadays it's like it's hard to balance the masculine and the
Uh-huh.
feminine because you're basically a single mom.
Yeah.
You're
And they
you're
said something like
mhm.
that on TikTok or something on Instagram Reel when they say you can have like a partner at home with you, but still be a single mother.
I'm probably gonna trigger people on that. Listen, I feel like I am married.
Yeah,
Trey and I have been married for
yeah.
8 years. On the 12th of this month is our
Mm-hmm.
anniversary. 8 years,
Oh
and
wow.
like I will say, yeah, I do in a sense. Not
Mm-hmm.
fully, not the full experience because I don't I do my readings. I have little income, but Trey
Mm-hmm.
does but like going to the park, like if I want to take the kids to the park, grocery
Yep.
shopping, like I
Yeah.
do a lot by
Yeah.
myself.
Yep.
And
Everything is on you. Like to fix their back, to get them ready, to get them dressed, to get them shot. Everything, cook, everything, girl, is on
yeah.
you. And that's what they say is things like that because I pay attention to it all. So yeah, that's how it really is in reality in real life now.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not complaining about it
Yeah.
or anything, but it's just
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, you know, I'm the one that does the laundry, I'm the one that cleans, I clean the bathrooms, I clean the tubs, the girls get to school on time, I do the
Yeah, you do.
appointments.
Yeah, all the cleaning, taking her to point, girl, it don't stop, girl. And like for me, like I would say, like people would tell me, it's just the beginning for me because Christian is only 2. So, yeah, like I'm just like, woo. I said, I got a
Just
long
wait.
ride. I said, I got a
What?
long ride.
When's your mom's birthday? What's her sign?
She's a Taurus, May 15. May 15.
Tanisha. My dad's a Virgo. My mom's a Taurus. And
Oh,
your
wow.
your dad's a Taurus.
And May 3rd, yep. And not only are we alike,
Girl,
girl, I meant to, I know you were talking, I didn't want to cut you off. But
it's
when you
fine.
said you and Trey anniversary is June 12th, me and
Mhm.
James had got together June 10th. Yep,
That
when we made up for sure. It's just so funny. I find all of this so hilarious, girl. It is
that's
so
so
crazy.
crazy. Oh my
hmm I
gosh.
started laughing in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, if we're not too alike, girl, I don't know if we are so sister connected or something,
We
girl. I don't
are.
know, girl. It's
You were
crazy.
my
The more,
sister in another life.
yeah, the more we're finding out about each other, girl. It's just crazy. I'm telling you.
Girl, and then Jay, well, his birthday's coming up, right?
Yep, June 18th. And it's so funny how Trey was June 1st with James' dad June 1st. Isn't that so hilarious, girl? That is so
Oh my
crazy.
gosh, that's
I
so
laugh at it all,
crazy.
girl. It's just too crazy.
Oh my gosh, dude.
hmm
Okay, so we're gonna end this episode with there's a question, statement, whatever. So if there is one thing that you can go on and like, tell your dad that he can, sit here and like soak up, right? And he's not going to sit
hmm
here, he's not going to talk back or whatever.
hmm
Like, what is it that you don't want to get off your chest and go on and tell your father?
Honestly, I would want to find. Honestly, there's a few things. I'm gonna make it quick.
Yeah.
I would wanna ask him like, what was his childhood like? As growing up as a child, like what was his dad like to him and his mom? What made him? What was the reason for him? To treat hold on, to treat me the way he treat me, and to say the things that he said and not believe in me. Like what make him feel the way that he feels about me?
Hmm.
It's just a lot. I'm like, I just want to ask him like, why do he feel a certain way when it comes to me?
What have you thought of having that conversation, or is it hard for you?
I think it's really hard for me, especially with hearing one time when he was telling my mom, well, Tanisha didn't look nothing like me or whatever. And he was
Mm-mm.
accusing my mom. My mom don't go nowhere. She stay home. She's locked in, nothing. And then for him to say, oh yeah, something about DNA about me, because when I came out, I was like pale, pale, like white, white, pale. And it's just crazy. It's just a girl. So I just left it alone. It's just something like that. I asked like why he feel the way he feel towards me sometimes. Like, you know. I just don't know. So
That's so like
I don't.
are you the oldest? Are you in the middle? Like
I'm
what?
the second. I'm the second oldest.
Wow,
Yeah.
Tanisha.
Yeah, because I never heard him say nothing about any of the other kids but me one time. And, he said that, oh, I don't even think, Tanisha's mine or something with DNA. I don't really understand Creole too much, but I just heard something with DNA and something saying yeah, about me not knowing I'm his, something like that. So I think before he used to stick with me for a while and stuff, and I kind of had looked at my dad a little different. But yeah.
That's
I
some
think
deep
that's what I want
shit.
to ask. Yeah, I think that's what I would want to ask him so he could just soak in and he just realized what question that I just asked him and to go back and see why did I ask him that question.
I feel like your inner child, possibly your inner teen, wants some closure because I can't even imagine. It's like like he was not claiming you as his dog, girl.
Yeah, and it's just like it's the time you ask, it's like, do you really want the bad for me? When you go around telling people, oh, you don't think I'm gonna pass my reading test, you don't think, it's just certain things you ask yourself that question. Wouldn't you be trying to cheer your daughter on? You'll be trying to find her that tutor, that help. Even though I understand you came from Haiti, you could say, okay, well, let's try to find a tutor. Let's try to find something, let's try to make it work for you, help you. But instead, you just try to, make it worse for me and say those things. But yeah, so
And the
that's
the the
something.
crazy the crazy thing about it is that the way that you wanted your father to be, girl, you are that and more to Tristan. You
Yeah,
know
and
that,
that's why
right?
I'm being both. That's why I'm being both because if I see him struggling with something, I'm gonna correct him. I'm going to help him. Like, and then like the things James will say sometimes out his mouth, and I'll be like, no, and I start praying. Remember, I tell you I'm a prayer warrior, so I think you say
Yes.
that all the time,
Yes.
and he doesn't know it. He doesn't know it, but when he starts saying like putting into like existence, like saying things about, oh yeah, I think Tristan gonna be like ADHD like me or something like that. I don't know what he be coming out his mouth saying. And I'll be like, let me tell you, and I'll be like, I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. While I'm washing dishes, he don't even know it. I'm like, I rebuke everything that just came out his mouth in the name of Jesus. And it's just like other things he'll just say. And he's like, yeah, I think Tristan really gonna have this problem and that. Why are you putting that into this air? Why are you putting that into the whatever? There's ways to fix it and correct it, and he doesn't have that problem. Like, why do you gotta put that on the child? Why do you gotta make a name for it already? You know what I mean? The child is only two. So that's why I do a lot of rebuking and I do a lot of praying
Girl,
because I will be damn, you're gonna speak over my child like that and say that to him. No.
continue rebuking it, girl, because
Yeah.
he's
Yes, girl.
crazy.
Yeah, girl. So you know me. Girl.
Oh
So
my
that's
God.
so that's that. What about
I
you?
Um, before I get to me, I just want to
Yeah.
say, Tanisha, I know it might be hard. I don't know when you're gonna work on the father wound because I know that there's just so much going on, and
Yeah,
we live in a fucked up world.
we do.
Inflation, wounds,
Yeah.
healings, all this shit, work.
And being a
Um,
mom and a dad at the same time, so it's a lot. And then when you have that 15 or an hour or so to yourself, or a few hours like me, you're either cleaning up, trying to catch up on clothes, or
I
either trying to get a
know,
rest and before you got to go to work, and before you know it, it's time for me to go to work. It's so crazy.
I know you're cleaning right now.
I,
I
I,
know
I,
you're
I
probably you're
right
probably
now.
doing you're probably folding clothes.
Oh no, not right now, but I will be when we're done. I will be. I'm gonna take that clothes out the dryer and then dry the sheets, and I just have my whites to wash, and then I have Tristan because I don't want Tristan to over go like his hamper to go all the way to the top. So
Yeah.
I have to clean it, wash that with his stuff. So yes, girl.
I feel like try to whenever you can, because I know life is crazy, but like whenever you can,
Mhm.
try to like get the courage to go on and put your dad on the spot and just go on and talk to him because life is so short and I feel like
Mhm.
that wound needs to be healed. You can't heal all at once because, girl,
Mhm.
you and I are like, we have the ego, the masculine, we got the mother wound, we got so many wounds. But just go on and try to do that, Tanisha. Life is so short.
Girl, I don't know, girl, because I don't think he would ever understand. I don't know, because
I
I just,
know.
yeah, with them, I don't know, because he'll be like, "What do you mean?" Like, girl, I don't know. This
What do
so
you mean?
crazy
What
to
do
me.
I mean? Like, come on. No, but for me, something that I would want to, I'm actually gonna try to ask because me and my dad don't have a good relationship. I'll probably just want to get to know him more, just ask
Hmm.
him, like, how was your relationship with my grandpa? How was your relationship with my grandma? I'm not gonna sit here and call him out or anything on the
Yeah,
shit that he's
yeah,
done because
yeah.
I
That's what I feel the same way too. You know.
yeah, I don't want like, my dad's done so much fucked up shit. I don't want a sorry
Yeah,
or anything.
and then
But
they're to that age now. They're already old. You don't want to make them even feel more bad about themselves or something or whatever of what they did was wrong. I don't know, girl, but I
yeah,
think about that
yeah,
too. So it's like
yeah.
whatever. I'm not gonna put no stress to their head.
Yes, yeah, because it's like, every day I sit here and I'm just like, my dad is getting older and
Yeah,
I'm turning 30 this year and it's like,
yeah. We're getting that age when our parents had us. I'm telling you, we're at
yep,
that age. It's so crazy how everything works. Like how fast life is. Like how it moves.
I know. It's crazy, but um I'm just gonna say, Tanisha, I really like from the bottom of my heart appreciate you. Thank you so much for, taking the time to speak on, your father wound and stuff. I love you so so much, girl, because
I
I
love you
know
too.
Tanisha's time,
Mm.
girl, Tanisha don't have time.
Girl, that's
she
right,
makes
girl. I
she makes the
don't.
time.
Yeah, I have to make time to do a lot of things now. Go to the gym and maybe at the gym trying to work on my mother, her wound, father wound, or something one by one. Or maybe I think I was doing my heart chakra first that I still need to complete.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah.
One day at a time. Shout out to all the people like Tanisha that's holding it down on their own, that are working. Tanisha got two jobs. Girl, oh, I'm
Girl,
just
you do.
stressed talking about it.
I know, girl. But you kind of doing the same too, because you have three kids too. You still working from home. You still
hmm
trying to balance and clean and feed and taking all of them. Yeah, that's really hard too. So you're really doing good at what you're doing. You're doing an amazing job, girl. Cause I
Yes.
to myself, I'm like, wow, Cynthia got up so early. Girl, she's on the road already.
You too. You live in your car.
Girl, she do her girl somewhat like that, girl.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm gonna go on and end it here. Thank you so so much, Tanisha. I love you. I love you.
Love you too,
Um,
no problem.
that is it for the father wound. Until next time.
Okay, no
Bye,
problem.
girl.
All right, bye. See you. We'll talk later.
All right,
All
bye.
right.